There's a silent thief that robs every Jeep owner. It doesn't strike overnight. It's a patient, methodical predator that slowly, almost imperceptibly, drains the very soul of your machine. It steals that crisp throttle response you fell in love with on the test drive. It replaces the engine's confident hum with a slightly labored drone. It introduces a looseness in the steering, a hesitation in the transmission, a collection of phantom noises that you eventually, tragically, accept as character. You take it to the dealership, complaining that it just doesn't feel right. They plug in a computer, find no error codes, and hand you a bill for a new set of spark plugs and an air filter, assuring you it's all fixed. But it isn't. The ghost remains. You've treated a symptom, but the disease rages on, unchecked. The great myth perpetuated by average mechanics and profit-driven service centers is that a vehicle's decline is inevitable and irreversible. They want you to believe that the only way to experience that new car feel is to buy a new car. This is a lucrative lie. The truth, the secret that savvy long-term owners and master technicians understand, is that restoring your Jeep to its prime condition is not only possible, but it's also methodical. It isn't about one magic bullet. It is about a holistic system revival, a comprehensive refresh of the core systems that the manufacturer's basic maintenance schedule conveniently ignores. This isn't about replacing parts that are broken. It's about restoring systems that have grown tired. It is the automotive equivalent of turning back the clock, and it targets three critical areas: the electronic nervous system, the fluidic lifeblood, and the mechanical skeleton. Embrace this philosophy, and your Jeep won't just run better, it will run like it was born again. Before we move on, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Rebooting the brain, the electronic nervous system refresh. Modern Jeeps, from the venerable TJ to the sophisticated JL, are not mere mechanical beasts, they are rolling data centers. The engine control unit, ECU, or powertrain control module, PCM, is the brain, and it makes thousands of calculations per second to manage everything from the air-fuel mixture to the transmission shift points. But a brain is only as good as the information it receives. Its eyes and ears are a network of sensors, and over tens of thousands of miles, these sensors get dirty, lazy, and desensitized. When the sensors provide flawed data, the ECU makes flawed decisions. The result is a slow, creeping decline in performance, reduced power, poor fuel economy, rough idling, and a general feeling of sluggishness. The true revival of your Jeep begins here by cleaning its senses and rebooting its mind. The sensor sweep, restoring the senses. This isn't about waiting for a check engine light. That light only illuminates when a sensor has failed catastrophically. The real performance drain comes from sensors that are merely performing poorly. The throttle body. This is the gateway for all the air entering your engine. Over time, a layer of black, oily carbon builds up around the throttle plate and within the bore. This buildup restricts airflow at idle and low speeds, confusing the ECU and causing a host of issues. A rough or stumbling idle, hesitation when you first press the accelerator, and a feeling of being disconnected from the engine. A thorough cleaning, using a dedicated throttle body cleaner and a soft brush to remove every trace of this deposit, is transformative. It immediately restores the engine's ability to breathe properly, resulting in a glassy smooth idle and crisp, instant throttle response. The mass airflow, MAF, sensor. Situated in the intake tube, the MAF sensor has a pair of incredibly delicate hot wires that measure the mass of the air flowing past them. This is one of the most critical inputs for calculating fuel injection. Even a microscopic layer of dust or oil vapor, often from an over-oiled aftermarket air filter, can insulate these wires, causing them to misread the incoming airflow. The ECU then injects the wrong amount of fuel, typically leading to a lean condition that saps power and can cause long-term engine damage. Using a dedicated MAF sensor cleaner, and only a MAF sensor cleaner, as other chemicals will destroy it. To gently spray the wires clean is a 5-minute job with a massive payoff in restored power and efficiency. Oxygen O2 sensors. These sensors live in the exhaust stream and measure the amount of unburned oxygen. They are the ECU's primary tool for fine-tuning the air-fuel ratio in real time. While they can last for over 100,000 miles, they don't simply work one day and fail the next. They become lazy, reacting more slowly to changes in the exhaust gas. A lazy O2 sensor causes the ECU to make delayed adjustments, resulting in wasted fuel, higher emissions, and a dull, unresponsive engine. For any Jeep with over 80,000 miles, replacing the upstream O2 sensors is not reactive maintenance. It is a proactive performance upgrade. The master stroke, the ECU hard reset. Cleaning the sensors is only half the battle. Your ECU has spent years learning and creating fuel maps and performance parameters based on the slow, dirty data from its tired sensors. It has adapted to the dysfunction. Simply cleaning the sensors means the ECU will still be operating on its old, flawed logic. A hard reset, accomplished by disconnecting the battery terminals and touching them together for about 30 seconds, after removing them from the battery, of course, drains the capacitors that store the ECU's learned memory. When you reconnect the battery and start the engine, the ECU is a blank slate. It enters a relearn mode, building a brand new performance map based on the clean, crisp, and accurate data now flooding in from its newly restored sensors. This synergy between clean sensors and a reset ECU is what delivers that startling day one engine performance. The lifeblood transfusion, the fallacy of lifetime fluids. The second pillar of this revival focuses on the fluids that lubricate, cool, and actuate every critical component of your Jeep. Manufacturers have increasingly marketed certain fluids as lifetime fills. This is perhaps the most damaging myth in modern automotive maintenance. Lifetime doesn't mean the lifetime of the vehicle. It means the lifetime of the warranty period. Past that, you're on your own. Heat is the enemy of all fluids. It breaks down their chemical structure, depletes additives, and destroys their ability to protect. Contamination from microscopic metal particles further turns these vital fluids into a liquid abrasive. Refusing to change them is like asking a marathon runner to survive on a single bottle of stale water. The full drivetrain fluid transfusion. A simple drain and fill is better than nothing, but to truly restore the system, a full flush or a diligent replacement is required. Transmission fluid. Automatic transmission fluid, like Chrysler's essential ATF plus 4, is a complex hydraulic fluid. It cools, lubricates, and contains friction modifiers that allow the clutch packs to engage smoothly. As it degrades from heat, shifts become harsher, the transmission runs hotter, accelerating wear, and the torque converter can shudder. A complete fluid exchange using a professional machine, or multiple drain and fills if doing it at home, replaces virtually all the old, oxidized fluid. The result is immediately noticeable: smoother, quicker shifts, and a transmission that feels responsive, not reactive. Transfer case and differential fluids. These are the forgotten fluids of the drivetrain. The transfer case contains only a couple of quarts of fluid, which must handle immense torque loads. The differentials bake their gear oil between the heat of the road and the friction of the gear sets. Old sheared-down gear oil offers poor protection, leading to whining axles and accelerated wear on the expensive ring and pinion gears. Replacing this fluid, especially with a high-quality synthetic and the correct friction modifier for limited slip differentials, like Jeep's track lock, will quiet the entire drivetrain and ensure your four-wheel drive system engages smoothly and works flawlessly when you need it most. Engine coolant. We think of it as antifreeze, but its more critical job is corrosion prevention. Modern coolants have an additive package that protects the diverse metals in your engine and radiator: aluminum, iron, copper, plastic. This package depletes over time. Once it's gone, the coolant becomes corrosive, eating away at your radiator, water pump impeller, and thermostat, and creating sludge that clogs the narrow passages of your heater core. A complete system flush, not just a drain of the radiator, removes all the old acidic coolant and any suspended particles, restoring the entire system's ability to cool effectively and protecting it from eating itself from the inside out. Part 3. Tightening the core, the mechanical skeleton, refresh. The final piece of the puzzle addresses the physical structure of the Jeep itself. Over thousands of miles of bumps, potholes, and maybe even trail riding, the tight, solid feel of the vehicle begins to degrade. This is the creep of looseness, a collection of small degradations that combine to make the vehicle feel old and tired. You get used to the slight steering wander, the subtle clunk over bumps, and the body roll in corners. Restoring the new feeling means exercising these mechanical demons. The chassis and suspension retorque. This is one of the most effective and yet most overlooked procedures in automotive maintenance. Every single nut and bolt in your suspension, control arms, track bar, sway bar links, shocks, was tightened to a specific torque value at the factory. Through vibration, heat cycles, and stress, these fasteners can and do loosen slightly over time. A half turn here and a quarter turn there adds up to a chassis that feels sloppy and disconnected. The process is simple but must be done methodically with a quality torque wrench. Go through every major suspension and steering fastener and retorque it to the factory specification. Pay special attention to the track bar bolts, a common source of the dreaded death wobble and general steering vagueness in solid axle Jeeps. This single act of retightening the vehicle's core connections can dramatically reduce noise, improve steering precision, and restore that solid, planted feeling of a brand new vehicle. It makes the entire Jeep feel like a single, cohesive unit again. Before we move on, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. The bushing audit. Holding your suspension together are dozens of rubber or polyurethane bushings. They are designed to absorb vibration while holding critical components in precise alignment. Like the tires on your Jeep, these rubber components perish. They dry out, crack, and compress under load. A worn control arm bushing allows the axle to shift slightly during acceleration and braking. A compressed sway bar bushing increases body roll. A failing track bar bushing makes the steering feel like a suggestion rather than a command. You don't need to replace every bushing. The secret is to perform a visual audit. With the vehicle safely supported, use a pry bar to gently check for excessive play in the control arm, track bar, and sway bar mounting points. Look for obvious cracking and deterioration. Replacing just a few key worn-out bushings, often an inexpensive task, can have an outsized impact on the vehicle's handling dynamics. It eliminates the slop, restores proper suspension geometry, and brings back the tight, responsive handling the engineers intended. The rebirth of a legend. Your Jeep doesn't have to feel its age. The decline you've been conditioned to accept as normal is, in fact, a choice. It's the result of following a maintenance schedule designed for minimum viability, not for maximum performance and longevity. The path to a new again Jeep is not found in a single bottle or a simple part replacement. It is a comprehensive, three-pronged assault on the slow decay of its most vital systems. It requires you to think beyond the check engine light and the service interval sticker on your windshield. You must restore the clarity of its electronic senses and reboot its powertrain brain. You must perform a full transfusion of its vital fluids, replacing the tired, broken-down lifeblood with fresh, potent protection. And you must retighten its very skeleton, exorcising the looseness that has crept in over the years. This holistic strategy, refreshing the electronic, fluidic, and mechanical systems in concert, creates a synergy that is far greater than the sum of its parts. It's the secret that separates those who merely drive their Jeeps from those who experience them. Don't settle for a tired, diluted version of the legend you bought. Take command of its condition. Do this, and you won't just be driving your Jeep, you'll be experiencing it as it was always meant to be. Powerful, responsive, and brand new. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel.